Thanks for joining, everyone. We're about to get started. Really excited to have you guys here. It's great. I see so many familiar faces.
We have Real Items and NFTG today with us for the CMA. Awesome. To start off, so let's just introduce first. So I would just like you guys to introduce yourself. Please tell us something about yourself. Tell us about your journey so far in the crypto.
Cool. Yeah. My name is David. I'm the CEO, technical co-founder at Real Items. I got into NFTs about 4 years ago. Took a class in San Francisco in 2016. And since then, I've just been building, really focusing on NFTs. And most of the people I've brought onto my team I've met at various blockchain hackathons around the world.
Hey all, my name is Mark Patterson, one of the lead sales and growth at Real Items. Known David for a few years now. We're really close friends. Came on, been helping him on and off and during that time, then came on in a more full-time capacity within the last year. Have 4 years in the crypto space, worked on a number of different projects, having co-founded projects myself. That's actually how I met David previously. Most notable accomplishment that many of you may have heard of separately, we're known for the mission that SpaceX and Elon Musk are doing to the moon with sending Dogecoin to the moon. So that's most notable accomplishment that we've done that on that side. But yeah, really excited about bringing the future of NFTs and physical assets to Polygon and talking to all of you more about that today.
Awesome. Really excited about that. So let's just get into the project. So let's just go one by one. So would like to know more about Real Items, and then Mark, you can go and explain about NFTG. So David, can you go first?
Yeah, great. So Real Items, we've been in business almost 3 years now. We really focused on product serialization using the blockchain. So a lot of products around the world, they just rely on barcodes and SKUs, but we actually give products an identity. And we've been doing that with NFTs without telling our clients that they're NFTs, just because it was, almost taboo to say that a year ago. Now with artwork, it's more of a common name, but we've really focused on the enterprise adoption. We speak to government agencies. We've done everything from retail to PPE to coffee and commodities like that. So we've built a SaaS platform, a cloud platform for enterprises to leverage blockchain for product serialization, asset traceability. We've developed an anti-counterfeit smart label technology so that we've made the NFT experience very usable, where much like Coinbase, we don't expect people to have a wallet or blockchain knowledge, but we at least want to be that on-ramp for them from the products that they're purchasing to be able to engage, receive NFTs on their smartphone, and eventually, connect their wallets and stuff like that. So we love the blockchain, but we're just not the maximalist when it comes to bringing in the mass adoption. But we definitely are laying the path for them to participate, which is kind of leading us into the NFTG realm as well, which is Real Items is kind of the core engine of our NFT technology. And as a SaaS company, we can't really have a token and stuff like that as of right now. It's still to be explored, but we can contribute, and that's where we connected with people. And NFTG was born with a lot of the Real Items technology. So we're able to contribute to a more decentralized project with our tech in that way.
Awesome. Mark?
Yeah, I think David articulated a lot of things really nicely. Real Items, as in David's words, he talks about Real Items being the core engine being like Google. So Google came out with the search engine, and from that search engine, they built an ecosystem of many different products, many different verticals from that core search functionality. he sees the same thing, and we as a team see the same thing with Real Items being able to have applications that utilize the core engine, and one of which is NFTG, being a fair launch auction house and marketplace for NFTs and fidgetals. Fidgetals is our term for a physical asset paired with an NFT. We describe Real Items as a next generation NFT platform for physical assets. So many of you may have heard of there's lots of different projects out there that are doing physical NFTs, and most of what they're doing is just adding an NFT to a physical asset. You buy that, you maybe redeem the NFT for the physical thing, and there's lots of projects doing that. What the team at Real Items is taking a very different approach, in that we see the NFT as a vehicle for a much larger ecosystem of applications that can be utilized for physical NFTs, or fidgetals as we call them. One of which being, you can have applications and services built on physical things that were previously inaccessible. The NFT is a sort of asset identity that, when you add it to a physical thing, it gives it its sort of own sovereignty in the digital space. So you can actually build things on top of it that previously you couldn't. And it goes much beyond just tagging an NFT to a physical thing, but building an ecosystem of products on top of physical things that you couldn't have because there was not a trusted relationship between the digital space and the physical space, which ultimately, in the big picture, and what Polygon can really help us contribute toward, is bringing the universe of physical assets into the metaverse, which I'm sure many of Polygon's listeners and many of you right now are very excited about the metaverse and its possibilities, and we are as well, and what Real Items and NFTG can do to contribute to that space.
Awesome, awesome. So what I understand is Real Item is the engine which converts asset into tokens for real life applications, and I think NFTG is a physical NFT marketplace. Am I right?
Yeah, it's that's the end goal. The NFTG is going to be our decentralized marketplace. Real Items is really the engine to enable enterprises to adopt this technology without having to dive into crypto or have to deal with volatility. We've really made it accessible for enterprise at really any price point for any product. And we're sensor agnostic. So really, depending on if they were wanting a low cost printing solution using QR codes, all the way up to like breakable NFC tags, RFID, even speaking with the Kong Cash guys, so that if necessary, if the client wants, we can also use the embedded semiconductor wallets and stuff like that. So we try to be as modular as possible, knowing that every supply chain is just a little bit different, but we've really tried to embrace legacy software. So we're not trying to just come in and expect a $100 million company to just say, oh yes, let's just retrain everybody, give them a whole new interface and trust that your stuff works. So we're really trying to find the legacy, ERP, the WMS, warehouse management systems, to be able to really connect and play with our technology so that we can provide value and solutions opposed to buzzwords and hype. So we've really just focused on tangibles, things that work. One of our largest clients right now, I would say, is doTERRA Essential Oils. So they do about $2 billion a year in sales, and we're working with just one of their OEM manufacturers right now down in Brazil. So very excited to be in those type of warehouse situations and stuff.
Got it. So how does this whole process work for Real Items as well as NFTG? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so basically we our clients can have a self-serve platform. They're able to first create a template for their NFTs and their products. And then from there, they're able to either by API or through the cloud platform, generate the serialized IDs for their products. And then they're able to attach them via smart label or some sort of sensor and label that the brand chooses. From there, we call it perfect chaos, where your products travel in the supply chain. A lot of brands sometimes don't know because they get passed to another distributor, a third party, and then by the time it's being distributed to the customer, they hope that it's an authorized distribution, right? And we've designed it so that anyone with a smartphone can scan, verify, and add more data to the product. So we've tried to eliminate a lot of the barriers to entry, making it as frictionless as possible. This way, supply chains, we also have physical hardware that we've developed as well that can be used in the OEM settings to be able to scan these things at high speed rates. But basically, as soon as the consumer gets it, they can scan, verify, collect the digital certificate of authenticity, but really start to engage with that brand's experience. So we're trying to package more experiences into the NFT to provide more exceptional value, far beyond just, is it real or is it fake? But really getting into the services of, direct to consumer experiences.
Awesome. It's really interesting and like creates so many questions. But yeah.
So to give you an example, when you go to OpenSea, everything's really focused on digital assets. I know they have some sections, but for us, we're 100% focused right now on digitals, like physical assets that we can represent with a digital twin. And in that case, it's the NFT.
Right. Mark, so in your case, how does the process work?
The process with respect to a client that would like to fidgetize an asset?
Yes.
So we've set up our infrastructure to be focused on enterprise, as that was the focus. We originally were built on VeChain, and we still are. We believe in a multi-chain future, so offering our clients VeChain. So there's very likely many VeChain listeners here. Thanks, VFam, for supporting us, and now bringing Polygon and other chains to our ecosystem. So with these different chains, being able to mint an asset requires a little bit of hand-holding on our part. As we've been focused on the enterprise, we're moving our platform to be more self-serve moving forward. Next quarter, we're going to set it up so that anyone can come, make an account, mint, and do things sort of without having to interact with us. But for most of the clients for all the clients that we engage with, they speak to me and or David, but most likely me. We set up a meeting. We attempt to understand our clients' needs. Every client has different needs, and then depending on their needs, we can customize the offering to suit their tastes. We're speaking with a number of different clients right now. For example, as David mentioned, doTERRA, we have some celebrity drops that are coming, which we're really excited about. David's actually in Los Angeles doing a lot of that groundwork so that we can bring some really unique assets to the NFTG as well as the real items ecosystems. But you would engage with me. We would understand your needs and speak to, help you understand the pricing. Our fidgetals start at $5 per fidgetal, and that price comes down with volume. So it's tailored to more like, bigger companies that are doing a lot of volume, but also with those fidgetals, you get a lot of value in terms of traceability and provenance, in terms of being able to add memories to products. There's a lot of really unique functionality that Real Items has built into its platform, and by association, what will be connected to the fidgetals and assets that are minted on NFTG, that makes minting assets with Real Items more than just pairing an NFT to a physical thing. You're buying infrastructure that supports an ecosystem of different services that could be built on top of your fidgetal. So maybe you have a luxury watch company and you want to incorporate warranty into a service on our wallet, into the platform. That's something that's available, and that's something that can be built out for your product. There could be, at some point in the future, you want to collateralize, or you want to do, various financial service related applications on top of your phygital. those are things that would be available in the future as we build out this platform. But if you're looking to mint a phygital, speak with me, go through our website. You can send me an email at mark@realitems.io, and we can best assess your needs, see how we can help you. And we have a lot of different ways of being able to pair your asset to a physical thing. That could be with QR codes, which is our most low cost option. We usually use that for businesses that want to experiment and understand how their product could utilize an NFT and be a phygital. If you want something that's a bit more high cost, a bit more secure, you're selling something that's like a very high value piece of art or a collectible of some kind, we can use chips that are encrypted, they generate their own key pairs that can connect to a smart contract that holds the NFT. Those are a bit more expensive. So depending on what your needs are, whether you're doing a consumer packaged good, maybe you're selling cosmetics, or maybe you're selling food or drink, a beverage of some kind, or any kind of consumer packaged good, or if you're selling apparel, whether low value or high value, we have different options to fidgetize and connect your NFTs to your physical things depending on the use case. And these are all things that we go over on a discovery call to best align our technology with your needs and your price points.
Got it. Got it. Awesome. So, in terms of competition, who do you think are your competitors, if any, and how are you different from them?
David, do you want to answer this?
Sure. There's been quite a few. I mean, I would say more almost daily, just with the idea of a physical asset. But I think as far as the direction we're really trying to take this for enterprises and the way we've developed, Boson protocol would probably be closest. We also have other competitors in the space like IBM, Hyperledger. They have a few solutions. And then I think even a few just traditional like legacy ERP systems. They just, they already are in that space, but they just don't have the identity system that we have. So it's been interesting to kind of navigate, but I think for our specific use case and the way our architecture is designed, we really haven't seen too many people going in that direction. People are using blockchain IPFS, but yeah, just not necessarily the enterprise phygital as much. I think it's more consumer phygital at this time, and what we're providing is infrastructure for them to like white label and be able to use just as if they were a high-end brand, but just without the resources. So they're able to leverage more of a cloud platform. Yeah. Mark,
Got
is
it.
there another one that I missed in there that would be more similar?
Yeah, I mean,
Because I know you just discovered a few things out in New York and stuff like that.
yeah, I mean, there's a number of people popping up with, physical asset NFT ideas. And, at the size that the whole space is in, we're looking toward more co-opetition because, lots of people with similar ideas, complementary ideas. We'd like to be partying up with these different groups and do something as a collective. And I think, just having spent the last week and a half in Denver and New York City, there's a lot of discussion around building solutions that make more community owned products compared to like a Nifty Gateway or compared to an OpenSea. And yeah, there's really no major platform that is focused on physical assets. I mean, 4K is one that popped up at mainnet, but 4K is really just focused on taking people's existing physical assets and adding an NFT to it. But we see some issues with that in terms of not going directly to the IP owners. So we've taken a very different approach. We think it's the long term. We think it's the best approach in terms of going directly to the IP holders of these different assets, building in NFTs into their actual manufacturing and supply chain processes, and having had that experience, there's not a lot of competitors that we've seen get into the sort of manufacturing NFT space. We see a lot of players that, and I'm sure many of you listening are all aware of supply chain blockchain, and it's all the talk since 2017, and blockchain for enterprise, and let's do the supply chain. But what a lot of these players do is they simply just add tracking events to a blockchain, and adding tracking events to a blockchain is nice, but it doesn't really encapsulate the big picture vision for what these assets are. And we think the NFT really captures the value, because when you NFT a physical thing, well, you can add tracking events to the NFT, but you can also do a lot more than just add tracking events to the NFT. So in our view, and as it's been David's thesis since 2018, and we think it's the winning thesis compared to a lot of these other, for example, we've worked with different companies who have gone the route of exploring, whether it's like IBM or some of these other enterprise focused blockchain platforms that are wanting to add physical assets to on-chain events. They don't see the tracking events as the sort of winner in this case, and we went the NFT route from the beginning. And the NFT route really seems to be a winner because it's on a permissionless chain. We're not relegating any of these enterprise customers to a permissioned chain. These assets are, self-sovereign things. They're free. Like assets, physical things as they are decentralized.
So
And a lot of our competitors are attempting to put, pigeonhole these assets to a permissioned chain. And when it comes to reality as it is, like reality, everything is really decentralized, right? Like assets are decentralized in a metaphorical sense. And we should respect that. And that's what Real Items is really focused on, is NFTs on permissionless chains, and making that really easy to use, create for our customers. And we really, compared to our competitors, this has been a unique model. And we haven't seen an exact competitor to what we're doing. We see people doing kind of like bits and pieces of what we're doing. So yeah, I mean, we really, at least so far, we think we're in a very unique position to capture a big part of this market.
I'd also like to invite Jake up. He's also on our team. He's down below, if we could add him up.
Sure, just a second.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess we can always get super technical pretty easily down a rabbit hole as well. So we definitely like to build. Yeah, Jake S. or Jake Smith, I believe he's right there with the lion. Hey, Jake, did you request or? Okay.
Yeah, Jake, if you can request, I think
That'll be easier. But yeah, so we're excited to share with you guys, the Real Items platform focused on digitals, physical assets backed by NFTs. We also have a very exciting product that we've been contributing towards it is a DAO, NFTG. It's focused on, digital as a marketplace, but then also it has a really cool membership program right now going with the PFP NFTs, profile picture NFTs. There's a lot of popularity in that right now. So that project, has a very interesting model where they're really trying to provide a lot of education for people in the space, and the membership is the access to that community. But cool. But yeah, I think one thing I'd like to note, we're very excited to come to Polygon. 2.5 years ago, my co-founder and I, we wrote some articles. It's on Medium, talking about why we had to leave Ethereum 2.5 years ago, because we were really searching for enterprise solutions. And at the time, the network congestion, the gas, the energy usage, we saw a lot of those things, which are pointed out in the article. And it's interesting that's years later and we're kind of still there, but Polygon has really opened up the Ethereum ecosystem for us again. Having been on Ethereum, we went to a bunch of other EVM compatible, and then we went to VeChain so we could get to market faster and really just concentrate on our feedback loop with customers and consumers. And, we really just concentrate on our feedback loop with customers and consumers. And, we really just concentrate on our feedback loop with customers and consumers. And, we really just concentrate on our feedback loop with customers and consumers. And, we really just concentrate on our feedback loop with customers and consumers. And, we really just concentrate on our feedback loop with customers and consumers. And, we really just concentrate on our feedback loop with customers and consumers. And, we really just concentrate on our feedback loop with customers and consumers. And, we really just concentrate on our feedback loop with customers and consumers. And, we really just concentrate on our feedback loop with customers and consumers. And, we really just concentrate on our feedback loop with customers and consumers. And, we really just concentrate on our feedback loop with customers and consumers. And, we really just concentrate on our feedback loop with customers and consumers. And, we really just concentrate on our feedback loop with customers and consumers. And, we really just, try to understand more about what's going on. And, we were able to do so. We have clients in mainnet doing, hundreds of thousands, if not actually millions of dollars worth of product that have been tagged now with our smart label tech. And, we see the network effects that Ethereum and Polygon have. And that's something we've always wanted to be a part of and wasn't really available in the last, ecosystem we were, playing in. So we're very excited, to bring the Fidgetals back over to the EVM world and be able to compound value with other protocols, in the space, to be able to, make it much more interoperable between our technology and theirs. So if there's other people that are, looking to utilize Fidgetals or have protocols that possibly rely on physical assets or illiquid assets, we would be a source that you can work with, and we're looking forward to working with you.
Awesome. Actually, I'm unable to find Jacob. I think, Jacob, if you are listening, can you please hit the request so I'll take you up. Meanwhile, what has real items and NFTG achieved so far in terms of clients or technology, and what can we expect from you guys in the future?
So we have a client going live on mainnet in the next 30 days that will be producing upwards to 1 to 3 million units per month that we will be utilizing Polygon for. So in the past, the very first product we ever put on the blockchain was a medical product in California. And since then, we've done Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee, which is one of the world's most premier coffees. We've worked with the largest microfiber factory in China during COVID last year. So we have millions of dollars worth of PPE that was verifiable, so that doctors, importers, just the whole mess of counterfeit masks was a huge mess last year. So we were able to help in a variety of verticals, and we've tried food and beverage and stuff like that. So it's been kind of a learning experience on some of the packaging requirements. But anyone with a digital packaging solution, so it's provided that it's not like a stamp of sorts, then we would be able to use our technology very easily. So now in the pipeline, we have quite a few celebrities we're working with. Our partnership with the Chinese Theater in Los Angeles. We're really focusing, just on brands, celebrities, and government agencies at this time, because we've actually been introduced to government agencies, and because we can help and want to help, it's, we're not trying to avoid that either. So it's, yeah. Oh, and I guess we have also one of our new partners also on the requesting to speak. His name is Fidgetal Beast, or at least that's his name is Shali, but Fidgetal Beast is his screen name in there. But yeah, we're, let's see. We have actually a very famous person that we'll be able to announce. It's very under wraps right now, but I would say in the next 2 weeks that will be available. Be sure to check back on our Twitter. I'm sure we'll make big announcements about it. But yeah, there's it looks like Shali just joined us.
Hey guys, morning.
Hi, how are you?
Morning, Shali.
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome, awesome.
So I come from the non-technical aspect of the project, and love the ability to combine digital and physical in a meaningful way. So I love my partners. I love the technical talk. We love Polygon. I was actually with your team in New York at the Digital Asset Summit a couple of weeks ago. For me, the most exciting part is whenever I talk about NFTs, the first question that comes up is, why am I buying an NFT? What does it mean? Why would I be buying a JPEG essentially for hundreds, thousands, millions of dollars? And so for me, one of the most exciting aspects of real items is, and I don't know if it was said before, but my tagline for the company is bringing real items to life. So when we talk about being able to add content or data or messaging to an NFT, what we're really talking about is when you buy a product that has prestige, whether it be a high-end leather bag, a Birkin, a Tesla, how does your NFT and your physical item utilize the blockchain for long-term experiential value? So if with the tech that David and Mark and team have built, you can actually add images, memories, data, content, 3D printing capabilities into an NFT that lives on your devices that connects to your real world items. So you buy a Tesla, you drive to San Francisco, you have a digital twin. You can upload memories, experiences, data, images, content to your NFT that lives with your physical product, whether you sell that item or not. You gift it to your child, your grandson, and the life of that physical item becomes human. So for me, that's a driving force in the physical item process. As far as real items in an enterprise sense, if I own a Chanel bag, but actually, perfect example, we were talking about a celebrity that we're going to be launching soon, and he has incredible art. He literally has been getting calls for the last 6 years from customers saying, "Is my product real?" And he has to sign a little authentication paper, charge him $100, ship out that authentication, and prove that what they bought was real. With real items tech, there's no question as to whether the authenticity of your product is real from day one, and it can be viewed publicly as well. So imagine the entire industry of Louis Vuitton bags. I don't remember the name of the shoes, but the ones with the red bottoms, and people question whether you bought a real product or you bought a knockoff. A tag can indicate to the world that the product that you have is what you say it is. And for brands, that proves that the marketplace is secure.
Yeah, I mean, this is so new and so interesting. So I think this is going to be the future, and it's looking great. So as you mentioned, that begs the question for real items and for NFTG. So what are the challenges that you have faced so far in terms of getting people on board, like like uh, like like physical, uh, we just said. So yeah, what are the challenges in terms of getting people on board that you have faced, and the whole concept around NFT? Like,
My partners are too smart.
Yeah, sometimes we can be a little too technical for the situation because we've really addressed this from an engineering standpoint, and now we're building out more of our business solution. I know Mark's been kind of captaining that, but for the most part by himself. So it's really understanding the enterprise sales process, coming from just engineering backgrounds. But for the most part, when people talk to us, and they see our technology in use, for having the problems that they have, it's a no-brainer for them. We've made it that it's not cost prohibitive for people. It's really just comes down to education and can you get the C-suite to really just engage? Because if you can, they're going to be super excited. We solve so many problems, and it compounds because as much as the problem is almost we can do too much. So the problem is trying to figure out where's the easiest way for them to get engaged, involved, and into production. So having been bootstrapped, not VC funded, we've been really resourceful in growth hacking and just trying to get our feedback loop as quick as possible. But I would say the hardest thing, I mean, 3 years ago, I had our bank account was closed for doing NFTs. We're in the Bay Area, and they said, "Oh, we can't tell the difference between an ICO and an NFT, so you can't bank with us." So I think the hardest thing for us truly has been how to make it digestible and acceptable for certain people, because we come at it from, oh, these are NFTs, but then they come at it from, we have real problems in NFT, we don't understand what that means. So it's been refining that message, I think, has been almost the hardest part. But when we connect with people, that message usually always resonates. So I think we have a pretty high rate of retention, I would say. But yeah. So just kind of, building. I think it's just hard building a startup, but it's been exciting, fun, and definitely we see this is the future of e-commerce, right? So it's just, yeah.
Got it. Got it. I just have one more question, and then I think we can take questions from the community. Uh, so the physical item or asset that we mint and convert to an NFT that is sitting on the blockchain, but the physical item is in the real world, and like it is destructible, right? So what if an physical item get destroyed? Uh, uh, do we replace it, or uh,
Yeah, so
what's the
I see what
process?
you mean. Yeah, so what we're really leaning towards is the circular economy. We go in and Real Items protects proof of origin, which is a protection of culture, at the core of it. And at the end of the product life cycle is waste optimization. So in our application currently, we encourage all brands, provided that it's a product, not necessarily artwork, that it comes with a recycling manual. We really want to encourage people that produce things to understand how are they, helping the consumer deal with the waste optimization. So in some cases, if it's a t-shirt, we actually have links and it shows what you can do with a used t-shirt, whether it be turning it into rags or just kind of upcycling to get extra life out of it. So I think that's kind of where we're trying to bridge a lot of these things, enabling these brands that really want to go after a sustainable, trackable future. Yeah.
But I think, Chinmay, more specifically to your question, that's going to come down to what the brands want to do in terms of, say you have this NFT, oh, your physical thing gets destroyed or ruined. I think that's an interesting question in terms of, now that we have this sort of NFT,
I would say
we're in
just,
this new NFT.
Mark, not to interrupt you, but we would literally just add a memory. So in our application, we call them adding experiences, but when it comes from the consumer, and let's say you bought something and there's a mark on it, or it got damaged, you could take the photos, the videos, record that, and add that to the identity of that physical asset. So we've created, in order to do that, we had to create the engine to make the asset, but then we also created currently a centralized Oracle to be able to query to know all the experiences, memories, and events that have happened and occurred to that specific NFT. So I think in that use case of if it got destroyed or it needs to be, taken off, they would just add the memory and say, oh, it's no longer here. And then that goes into their record. If they want to, burn, I guess, the key to that NFT and get rid of it, sure. But yeah, we haven't, I wouldn't say we haven't come across that as a edge case yet, but I definitely can see that as something to figure out in the future.
Yeah. I mean, this is all an experiment. So, whether the brand recreates the asset or not, it's ultimately going to be up to the brands. But, having the NFT will be that sort of representation of ownership that, yes, you did indeed own the product. Here's the receipt. And yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. We'll see. We're not really sure. We'll see how brands experiment with that.
Got it. Got it. So yeah, we have a lot of speakers with us. So if anyone has any question, please go ahead.
Yeah, so just really want to say I love this project, and actually fits a lot of different use cases for a number of the kind of companies that I've dealt with, having worked on the enterprise side doing cloud sales and cloud BD. I think what's really fascinating to me is have you guys are you approaching a particular industry in as far as where you're going to want to launch first or test cases? Are there industries that you're more excited about than others? I certainly would love to kind of sit down and talk to you guys, but I'm just curious if you've targeted any particular industries. You've mentioned some retail side, but I'm wondering if you've done anything specifically in terms of building out MVPs for a particular industry.
Yeah, so we've been approached over the years now from military, government contractors, aerospace, government agencies, and we've really had to say where can we do our best, you know? So we're focusing, I think, on retail products right now, just because of there's a fast feedback loop. We're really focusing on smaller supply chains where there's not a lot of red tape, I guess, to get through just to get into a production setting. But at the same time, we're also approached by, you know, the real estate industry. So we have a client that's working with housing titles into NFTs.
Yep.
So it's something that we can provide the engine for, they can use our API for, but we're not domain experts in that. So we rely on them as a kind of like a vertical partner to just handle it, run with it, and we'll just advise as best we can. We're also working with a government in the Caribbean. So being able to work with their regulators to establish an importer-exporter type platform for them, that we're also speaking with other you know, government agencies in South America about as well. So again, those, we really rely on them, boots on the ground, to kind of leverage our technology. But for us, since we're more based on the West Coast, we have a lot of influence now in Los Angeles. So I think we're really going to be focusing on presenting the product and the technology the best way we can, which is to just find the absolute best products. So we have a lot of neat products that have so much legacy and history within themselves that I think it's going to be much easier to tell the story. And from there, we would, you know, work with other partners. We've been approached for actually a few different things, and we'd be interested, but you know, we only have so much time. So I guess if other people are interested in taking on a vertical with our engine, then you know, we'd love to talk to you. But mostly I would say retail goods with a digital packaging. So as long as it comes in like a box that they print on or a label that they put on, then for the most part, that's our target.
Okay, well, that's very helpful, and I appreciate that. And I think starting to just one follow-up question would be the application itself. Like, is this something that I can pull down and download? So I think at the end of the day, most of the consumer experiences that, well, most of the consumer scenarios that I'm thinking about have a huge customer experience component to it, right? And it depends on how that's deployed within the application, because that really makes a difference in terms of like how what that affinity loop looks like for the applicability of that NFT or the utility of it. So I'm just wondering about the app. Is there something you can download? Is it? I know you can sign up for a demo.
Yeah. So no, it's almost amazing we got this far without saying it. So Real Items, you know, has a yin and yang technology where TAM stands for Tokenized Asset Manager. That's our cloud enterprise SaaS platform. And then we have on the other side what we call CP4. It just stands internally for Consumer Protection 4.0. So you know, you have all these other texts. Well, anyways, so basically CP4 is something that no app to download. It's a web application, mobile first. You're able to use your stock camera on iOS or Android, scan your device or scan the product. We have a two-factor verification. Originally, we were using unique pins. Now we just have it as give us your email, and then by doing that, you've burned the credential of the QR code. So the QR code will no longer transfer the digital asset. And now with the person that's using their smartphone, they scanned, they entered their email, they get an email saying, hey, you just scanned this, now it's in your wallet, and you can click here to go back anytime. So you can search your Gmail, find your Fidgetals, go directly back to the Real Items wallet. Within the Real Items wallet, you'll be able to see everything you've scanned, verified, and collected. You'll also have access to our marketplace in the same setting. But yeah, you'll be able to get all the detailed information, access that unique asset, and if someone else scans the credential, the only thing they can see is face value information. They're only going to see what you would normally see on a packaging, but not anything exclusive where an owner would have only access to that. So
Awesome.
we've designed it to be as frictionless as possible, focusing on user experience, so that we really hold custody of all the NFTs until the user requests custody of it. So then that way, anyone with a smartphone can engage. Anyone from 7 to 50 can figure it out, and they don't even know that they're using the blockchain. So,
Awesome. Thank you.
no worries. Great question.
Awesome. I think Daniel wanted to say something. Daniel, do you have a question?
Hi guys, I just want to understand the connection between VeChain and Polygon. Is this a migration from VeChain to Polygon, or there will be any collaboration between both blockchains?
Yeah, so I mean, we're built on, so TAM right now in its current form is actually running on both VeChain and Polygon. It's literally like your MetaMask. You just flip your switch and you're in a different network. We're looking at it more from a client base to see what clients are most, you know, what they want or prefer, opposed to just us being proprietary salesmen of some tech. So we really wanted to provide a solution where the client can get the best in what they're looking for. And I think, you know, with VeChain specifically, just, yeah, there was some issues with some of our clients where it wasn't the best solution for them. So.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Yep.
Hey everyone, this is Tony Hart. I would love to chime in about real items if that's all right.
Sure. Go ahead, Tony.
Thanks so much. I'd like to touch on something that David so humbly hasn't touched on. So I also advise real items, got introduced to them months ago, and completely awestruck by the good that the real items team is doing. And what excites me most is the fact that we can use the blockchain and NFTs to change the world for the better, right? So instead of just getting excited about knowing if my Louis Vuitton bag or my Supreme bag is authentic, which is good and all, right? Because there's a multi-billion-dollar market for fakes. We all know that. What excites me more is the fact that, right, over 500,000 people a year die from taking in malaria medicine that isn't the right medicine, right? It's fraudulent medicine. And so knowing that using the power of the blockchain and using real items tech, we can track from factory all the way to individual who needs the medicine, that medicine hasn't been tampered with. We could save over 500,000 lives a year, right? People out in the Philippines who no longer have to farm because they can use the power of the blockchain and NFTs to trade with each other and make twice as much as they were making working 8-hour days in the field. We can use real items tech for that, right? Like when we go and when we want to make sure that foods, right, that have been delivered to us or have been delivered to the elderly haven't been tampered with or contaminated with, and we can trace the fact that from farm to plate, it's organic and it's fresh and things like that. Like we can use NFTs in the blockchain to truly change the world for the better and to uplift millions and millions of people who are currently unbanked, right? We can give them access to their assets, physical and digital, have them trace it, have them authenticate it, and have them know that what they're getting, what they're ingesting, what they're consuming, what they're buying, what they're using is true and it's real, a real item. And it has like life-changing implications. Back to the medicine thing, whether you're going to die from taking a medicine or whether you're going to continue living. And so that's what excites me most about real items. And it's a pleasure to support them and to continue to see them expand. And so I just wanted to put those 2 cents in because David so humbly may not touch always on the fact that, like, aside from this being an innovative crypto company, right, a blockchain company using the power of sort of the decentralized world for the better, we also can be truly changing and saving people's lives.
Yeah, great point, Tony. Yeah, definitely forgot about that.
Preach.
And Chinmay, as a side note, if you can check your Telegram messages quickly, I just sent you a quick question privately.
Cool. Does anyone else had some more questions? We'd be happy to answer or bring you up.
Hello?
Hey.
Hi,
Okay.
yes, we can hear you.
Okay, since he muted himself, then I would like to go ahead.
Okay, Arno.
First of all, great idea, fantastic idea. I think we all have learned so much already, but I'm looking forward to like learning more about your project, about all the solutions that you offer. What I've seen on your website is really only a high glance at the solutions that you offer. So apart from, or let's say I would book an appointment, what's your backlog and what's the time for me to get actually like in contact with you and understanding, for instance, where, let's say we are talking of global, like global shipping, where's the difference like in using distributed ledger technology, like from IBM, yeah, like from IBM or let's say Origin Trail? Like I would like to really learn what sets you apart from them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can book a meeting. I think we could probably get something in by the end of this week. You know, we've done stuff from tracking solar panels from China to Northern Africa and Mauritania. So I think, yeah, just connect with our team. We have some videos on YouTube that kind of explain some stuff as well. I think there's one that's like an hour long. It really goes into some of the stuff pretty well with Mark and Nick. The website, I apologize, we haven't updated it for almost, I don't know, 8-9 months, almost a year. We've just been going, and yeah, just it definitely needs an update. So I apologize for that, but we'll definitely have more of the use cases on there. Yeah, so you'll be able to download and read and go through that kind of stuff. And we do have a very active blog as well, so you can see some of the other things that we've done or some of the stuff that is possible with it that we explain in some way.
Okay, thanks very much.
Excellent. Looking forward to speaking with you on that as well.
Same, looking forward to talk to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Arno. Yeah, if anyone else has any questions.
Cool. So yeah, it's you know, the future will be phygital. You know, if yeah. So one thing I think we did talk a lot about real items. I know we do have a lot of the NFTG team listening and stuff like that. A lot of the NFTG stuff that we focused on too was really about fidgetals as well. So I think this was a great intro for everyone just to kind of understand what fidgetals are. But I do encourage everyone to check out both of our sites. They are very different. One is more enterprise and one is more degen. I would say super duper degen. But yeah, it's there's definitely a lot of info between the two sites, and we're always available as well to connect with either online or just in our discords and stuff like that.
Can you just say what the sites are again?
What was that?
Can you just say what the sites are again, please?
Yeah, sure. So realitems.io, that's the enterprise side of things. And the decentralized project that we're contributing to is NFTG.live. And then that is, you're diving into the deep end on degen stuff. So
Can you explain how fidgetals impact NFTG? What does that mean on a practical level?
yeah, so we're really just contributing a lot of our experience so that we don't want to just be the next Nifty clone or OpenSea clone. It was really how to be different and engage the community to make more of a fair launch, make the user experience better for a majority of the people and not necessarily focused on just, I would say, 3 people in the situation, which is usually like the artist selling, the winner, and then the platform itself. We've really tried doing this.
How does a fidgetal aspect apply to NFTG that differentiates it, besides for fair launches, besides for
Sure.
yield harvest?
So the marketplace, yeah, the marketplace itself will be able to take digital things and bring them into the real life, whether it be bringing your PFPs to life, you know, and having those inspirations into physical assets, or really just having that phygital drop experience, you know, just more from the NFTG side.
Do you mean I could buy a physical item with an upgrade or a digital Unity
So
item?
yeah, so I see where you're going. So basically, you will be able to see digital things. And because of our partnerships and the way that we're designing this, we're going to bring them to life. So if you have like a profile picture that was inspired by all these different assets, we'll have it connected so that can I give them the example of the motorcycle?
You can lead a horse to water, right?
Okay. So basically, we all know. Well, some of us know that the like CryptoPunks and the generative art style of things, where they just have that uniqueness and it's exclusive, kind of to that one token holder. There's not two in the collection. We want to bridge that type of exclusivity. You're almost owning that, you're owning the ability to bring that specific type of product into the real world. So it's more of an access to fidgetize, I would say, things. So we're really
motorcycles. Yes.
All right. Now I can explain the motorcycle.
I said horse to water.
All right. Real items.
Yep.
For the past couple of months, I've been thinking, and I've like for since I've been following Polygon, like it's been a lot of projects out that's already in motion with what I've already been thinking about. And I was like, I need to be able to bring things in the physical world into the crypto world or vice versa. You see what I'm saying? And I need you to message me because I'm working on something. I'm not a tech guy. You see what I'm saying? But this is by far one of the best ideas in NFT cryptocurrency history. And once everything gets elevated to where it's trying to go, it's going to be like the best thing ever. I'm telling you.
Really appreciate the kind words, Tavius. We've been working really hard on this. We feel the same way.
All right, I'm gonna follow you too.
So I'm gonna quickly.
Awesome.
The main thing when we talk about fidgetals is, a lot of people don't understand. A lot of maybe your friends, family members. A lot of people don't understand NFTs. It's a bit esoteric. You buy a $69 million JPEG of something, and people are like, "I don't get it. Why is this worth so much?" And for a lot of people that aren't deep into crypto and blockchain, it goes right over their head, and they think we're crazy, right? But now you turn a physical thing, you pair that with an NFT as a sort of asset identity, as a sort of, making a physical thing more or less connected to the internet, connected to everything else around it. Now you have a portal that helps people really understand what exactly an NFT is and where it's going.
Yes.
Right. So yeah, I mean, we think that this has the potential to bring the next billion people into the crypto and NFT space by, our thesis is that every single thing is going to be an NFT. You're not going to want anything that isn't paired with an NFT. It doesn't make sense. You can't trust anything that doesn't have it. Right?
I know it has potential because, for one, technology is so behind. We're supposed to be so far advanced with it. It has potential. Believe that.
We believe it.
I might have a quick question.
Yeah, go for it. Third Rose.
Have you guys been? Has there been a point where you guys have been approached with anything in regards to like the sports entertainment space? Because the one thing I've been noticing is that there's been like an increased boom in like actual sports card trading and like people trying to get their cards graded and things like that, which is an actual physical item. But then I've noticed that I play NBA 2K, and I've noticed that NBA, my team has made like a they're trying to align like with the sports card industry, as if to the point where kind of imagine the NBA were to release like a LeBron James card that was like maybe had a rating of like 99, and that within itself has its own use case value because of the fact like if somebody were to purchase that in like an NFT form or whatever, they would be able to like actually use it in real competition and within the esports industry. So I was just wondering if you guys have been approached with anything within like the sports industry in regards to taking like the likeness of someone, or whether it be a player or anything like that, or different attributes that could be added to a player and then have it be enhanced or be incorporated into the blockchain space.
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting use case right there. We do have a client that does card grading, KSA grading. They're based out of Canada. For what you described, I think is almost on the borderline of what Loot is kind of like. So what they did is they created a bunch of assets and said, okay, these are just assets. You could do whatever you want with them. And people now are creating the games based around having that data being available. So I think it would be very interesting to see how that transpires, because the way the NFT works, at least in this case, if we were to put more of that metadata or some sort of ability features besides just stats, because currently, like when they grade cards, they're giving it a 8, a 7, a 9, or a 10, and then encasing it in plastic. So it would be very interesting to take, even if we just, that's very cool. I like that actually, because what you're saying is not just take the regular data, but actually create some sort of attributes on it. But by having it in that form, you'd be able to create games almost in a permissionless way, where you could just say, well, those assets exist. Great. Now, if you want to play our game, go buy those assets. And then it drives value back onto those. And yeah, so definitely interesting topic. We haven't necessarily gotten into that too far, other than just we already have a client that does the grading. But yeah, definitely reach out.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
that'd be something cool. Just
because the only reason why I say it is because I'm only looking at it from the consumer standpoint. I know you guys had mentioned like bringing people in, and you're trying to like kind of get more people that are outside of the NFT like interest to like trying to get more of an understanding of how it can be used. So that's why I was just like, I'm sitting here playing the game, and I'm like, I have the interest to like buy like these different packs to try to get these cards, and I'm just thinking like, wow, like if this could be implemented to where like I can have a card that I build assets on, and then like he's just like souped up, then like I should be able to sell this to someone else where they can get use of it and everything like that too, or trade it in some type of value. But it's like that's because like they had like the gaming industry kind of has like a cornered a little bit. I don't really know how much wiggle room there will be, but it's just something that it seems like it's like in the works already happening on the back end. But at the same time, it's just like I see a lot of value in it as far as bringing a lot of people in, because I'm located in Phoenix, Arizona, and like sports betting just opened up out here. So like the interest inside of the sports entertainment industry as a whole is like increasing, with more and more people being able to bet and have like money attached to the games and things like that too. So it just seems like that's like a good like kind of funnel or like tunnel to kind of get more people into the NFT space through sports, because there's so much interest in it already from people that are not in the space.
Think about this for a second. Imagine if you had a playing card, right? A Wayne Gretzky rookie card, but that Wayne Gretzky rookie card was owned by Kim Kardashian, and she added memories, experiences to that card, to the NFT. Think about the differentiation in value, not based necessarily on the player and the stats and the success of the teams or the player themselves, but the life of the product itself, how it lives, and what that means to the value of the product, regardless of grading.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That takes it to a whole other dimension. Like that's a whole other dimension, like to it within the whole too, which could like different, like that could change the value within it. So I don't know about Kim Kardashian. I mean, I'm sure that
Steph
they want to
Curry.
keep
that's like a
Steph
LeBron,
Curry,
sports
yeah.
that's like a
space,
LeBron
but
being
yeah,
owned by LeBron.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly,
that's like,
exactly.
and all of a sudden it's like this LeBron, it's been owned by LeBron versus that LeBron has never been owned by. So there's like a little extra that you might have as content accessible to you. So I think there's a huge convergence there of what Bird Rose is saying and what Digital Beast is hinting on of what we already have. So I think it would be a very interesting thing to explore for sure. So reach out, connect with us, open that conversation with us. We'd love to have it.
Hey, I got
Absolutely, I
a
got you.
question for everyone, if
You guys.
that's okay.
Hi, guys. Can I just ask a question from obviously you mentioned some of your clients that are utilizing your technology into the adaptation. Yes, in terms of retail is quite a prominent thing there that you've just discussed. What's the sort of experience like from the opposite side for people utilizing it and validating? If I'm just an average Joe, how do I know to approach your platforms? And then a second follow-up point to that is the application and utilization of all of this in the broader things you mentioned about financial services and warranties, attaching that onto some of these products? Say you bought a car and all that sort of stuff, you could do the insurance off the back of it, all that sort of stuff. Have you got affinity and affiliate partnerships in place, or contacts with people like that that not applying it to their own services, but they're the ones benefiting from your knowing that you exist in this crypto space at all?
Yes, I would say from a consumer standpoint, we've really just focused on the brands initially, so that they're already selling the product, and then through their marketing, we hope to expose more of us.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a Shopify store. So if you want to buy a digital right now, on-demand print, we have it. So you buy a T-shirt, you receive the NFT from the T-shirt, and that NFT gives you a Roblox avatar T-shirt, so you can match in game with your asset. So that's available as far as like consumer side in our marketplace for just fun little things as demos and stuff. But as far as affiliates, we haven't really done the affiliate thing. We've done more JVs or just revenue share agreements, I would say, more so than just affiliate style. So.
Hey, I've got a question if I can ask it now. Is that all right?
Go over it, Jason.
Cheers.
Did I answer your question, Billboard? I didn't want it like. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, go for
All
it.
right, thanks. Yeah, so Real Items, I've known about you for a while. I've followed you guys for a while. I understand that you guys use VeChain as your technology, right? To do the item check-in and the whole the part you were talking about. I can't get the word out. I just wondered what your like idea is with Polygon, and like how you're seeing that working as like a partnership with VeChain as well, or is it you're moving over to Polygon?
Yeah, so there's no partnerships anywhere. There's no partnership with Polygon. Polygon has just been very inclusive in their ecosystem. I mean, Jason, you've seen us in the VeChain ecosystem.
Yeah,
We're actively suppressed. Like VeChain will not give us a tweet.
Oh,
they will tweet. They tweet about VPunks, which are stolen intellectual property.
yeah.
So there's been a lot of non-community events that have occurred where VeChain is very vividly, even the general manager has told us that they see us as a competitor, so they don't want to support us. So we want to be in an ecosystem where it's more of a communal, decentralized, environment. That's what got us into this.
Yeah,
so so it's more of like we needed to evolve, right? And what's funny is VeChain invited us to build on VeChain.
Yeah.
They even gave us a grant many years ago, but then they stopped.
Right.
So it's yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jason, we do still plan to support VeChain as an option.
Right.
We see a multi-chain future. Each blockchain is going to have its own benefits. Different communities are going to come together around our technology.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to support whoever comes to us. So whether you want to mint an asset on Polygon or you want to mint an asset on VeChain, it's we're going to be we want to support multiple chains, because each chain has its own value, its own ecosystem that is unique to itself.
Yeah.
And we want to be able, so we simply want to be able to offer that to whoever wants to be able to mint a digital.
Yeah.
And one thing we also see in the future, because we spoke with MakerDAO like a year ago, and we definitely want to be able to play with other protocols in the system. So it's just we don't have that same network effect in VeChain, where Polygon has really opened that up for us, so that now it's kind of the return to the EVM. Right. So for us, I think that compounds more in value, and that's really what got us into blockchain to begin with.
Hey guys, sorry for jumping in. I just want to commend you on your work, and you actually speak our language with the Real Items and the NFTG. I'm Giga. I'm one of the founders of Origin Trail, and we have been involved in supply chains for nearly 10 years. And we have fought the most probably a very similar struggle as you have fought for a while. And I think your direction is correct. You need to be I guess, ecosystem agnostic and offer to the clients, to the users, whatever technology they believe is most ready, and not, you know, give yourself up to the certain vendor lock-in. And also at Origin Trail, we've been working with Polygon with their ecosystem, and they are not only, I would say, inclusive, same goes for the Origin Trail ecosystem, but also their technology is quite easy to be implemented. And I would also kind of want to kind of ask you, or at least give you some food for thought, to go and check the standards, such as GS1 standards, that might help you better construct more context around physical products in supply chains. Standards such as EPCIS standard, which essentially gives you an idea what has transpired with a product in the supply chains. And this is something that we have been using very, you know, with a lot of value in Origin Trail ecosystem. And since we have been positioning ourselves quite similar to real items and NFTGs, not as someone who's, you know, who knows them all and wants to build everything from scratch all the way to the final solution, but rather as a tool in the ecosystem, we actually managed to attract quite a lot of brands such as Home Depot, also Walmart, which are kind of associated in a larger grouping called SCAN. And right now, for example, they are exchanging audit reports on some 21,000 factories across the globe. And none of this would have been possible if we were kind of betting on one single blockchain, on one single UI, but rather, you know, we focused on partnership and offering whatever we can do best to them. And I see a lot of kind of potential venues for collaboration between us and real items and NFTGs in bringing physical products to digital realm, and also finally, of course, NFTing them in order to make them valuable, transferable, and etc. So I just wanted to commend you guys, and I just want to say that keep up the good work, and do stop by at Origin Trail if you ever want to expand your already awesome product into something which would tap into yet another ecosystem. Thank you.
Amazing, love it. And I think you guys are based in the Bay Area as well. Is that correct?
We're actually we have more locations. We are like a UK-based company, but we have exposures in Slovenia, Serbia, Hong Kong. But we'll be in the States in the coming month. So most probably in the SF as well.
Cool. Yeah, look forward to connecting. I will follow up on that open invite. So I think it's you know, very exciting, and we're just cracking open a lot of things. So collaboration is key.
Wonderful. Take care, guys.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Can I
and
ask
Ziga,
apologies.
Well, Ziga, I wanted to also add, you know, the GS1 standards is totally something we've looked at. We've been in conversations with like a number of different players in that space. You know, I noticed that you guys are connected with everything, with I forgot the name of the founder.
Dominic.
Yeah, but Vlad, and his team, and like he's worked on a lot of the standards for GS1 and specifically around like blockchain and such. So you're speaking the same language of, you know, what we've talked about internally. I totally couldn't agree more with conforming to those standards. I think cooperating and collaboration is key, and really appreciate you coming in to express those words and to let us know that, you know, you guys are also thinking the same way in terms of ecosystem, in terms of being across chains, you know, from XDAI to Polkadot and Substrate. I've noticed that you guys are, you know, also positioning yourselves nicely, and yeah, thanks for joining, and thanks for reaching out to us. If you want, we can connect either, you know, directly on Twitter. After this, I'll send you a message. We can line something up. We can meet and connect, and then you know, even line something up for when you go to the States.
Are you guys both talking about Vlad Milagin? Vlad Milagin out of Serbia?
I don't know his last name. I know his first name is Vlad, and he
out of Serbia
is one of the co-founders.
Well, we know a few guys from Serbia.
Again,
we know a few guys from Serbia, but I don't know any Vlad that goes by that surname.
Okay.
But anyhow, yeah, I echo your of course, opinions on GS1. And just one more thing, there are plenty of legacy systems in the supply chains and, of course, related to physical items. And it's going to be extremely important and crucial that we somehow connect those legacy systems that are actually, the main sources of data describing the context around the physical items. Of course, the challenges are plentiful, and there is plenty of space in this ecosystem for collaboration.
Yeah,
and I'm happy to receive your note, and then we can take this discussion still online, but via other channels.
And correct me
Sounds
if I'm
great.
wrong, but I would say Origin Trail is focused more on the enterprise systems use case, like really focused on just building out, in conjunction with the standards, like those enterprise rails, I would argue.
Yes.
Whereas we've kind of done we've done an end-to-end approach, which I think, I think in terms of what you guys have focused on, what we have focused on, I think it can be pretty complementary.
Yeah, you are very much correct. Although we had built a few consumer-facing applications in the past, but then we saw that I would say, core competency actually lies somewhat more in the back end. And this is when we realized that using directly blockchains for supply chains is not completely viable. And this is when we started developing the Origin Trail protocol, which is now a decentralized knowledge graph that is supported by the community ran network of, I think right now, over 1,800 nodes across the globe. It's a permissionless network, but it does not store data in blocks, but rather we use knowledge graph. And if you guys know anything about knowledge graphs, are being used by companies like Google, Facebook, etc. Whereas we add a decentralization component because the network itself is decentralized plus underpinned by the blockchains such as Polygon, Ethereum, etc. But yeah, initial, I would say, target are enterprises. And this is where we also saw that we can create the biggest impact since once you onboard an enterprise such as, I don't know, for example, the Swiss Federal Railways are using Origin Trail to trace all the parts within the ecosystem of federal railways. There are a lot of parts, a lot of items, a lot of moving things. And potentially, perhaps not with Swiss Federal Railways, but definitely with some of the retailers from the US, or with some of our other clients, there is definitely a certain nexus that we can exploit in order to interface with final consumers. And this is where projects such as NFTG, real items, I think can really shine like the brightest stars, because you guys, not only you are trying to improve transparency and trust within supply chains, but you're actually using permissionless technologies, either based on Polygon or other blockchains, and potentially also use decentralized knowledge graph to connect, the disparate world of legacy ecosystems.
Amazing. Yeah. I actually just went on your website and I realized we joined the Origin Trail Alliance maybe 2 years ago. Where our old logo is on your website. It says Real Items Foundation Supply Chain, but it has our first logo we ever made.
That's wonderful. We should definitely talk.
Yeah. If you go back and look at the timestamp on that, I guarantee it's one of your earliest ones for sure.
Yeah, let's check that as well.
Cool.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Ziga.
Thank you, guys.
Well, this was amazing. This last bit of the conversation, I think whoever asks amongst us, we follow logistics and we know Origin Trails. I mean, I know Origin Trails for quite some time. Did we just see the making of an M&A here between the two of you?
maybe to be fair.
Well, that's amazing. I think collaborations and partnerships and M&A is only going to strengthen crypto, and I can see the use case between the two of you collaborating. But just to stay on real items, and two quick questions, just for me to better understand this. I did pick up the point of Origin Trails saying that B2B is probably a lot more, I wouldn't say safer, but maybe definitely a bigger market as far as logistics is concerned, for sure. Now, just to kind of understand this better, when you say
track the origin of a particular item. Let's say, for example, we're talking about an enterprise where you are tracking the trail of a particular item that has been sent from a certain destination A to B. Do you also have a fiat RAM for that? So, for example, can we settle transactions through real items, or is just the tracking bit that can be done through authentication that the product is origin and the product is real? So there's nothing wrong with the product. So that's the first question. And apologies if I missed on that. And then the second question is that just in terms of this tracking of the flow of origin, how do you also validate whether this whole trail of from origin to destination is actually a real trail? So, for example, if a particular person, manufacturer, whoever it is telling you that this is the origin of the particular item, and this is how do I make sure that it is the origin? Do you have some form of authentication that's inbuilt in your system, or is it in the KYC process when you onboard individuals or enterprises that there's a kind of a sense balance check to ensure that there is no fraudulence or things of that sort happening? And my third and final question, apologies for this being long, is just can you talk about your funding? Has there been any funding rounds or partnership that you already have?
Sure,
Thank you.
sure. Three great questions, and I wrote them down because I'm very excited about these actually. So we've integrated USDC. So we have a stable coin that we can transact with. We have to just go through the final compliance check to actually make it live for people. It's something we've already built out in spec, but now it's just a matter of turning it on. So we definitely see, we've actually been, we were speaking with the government agencies for the import-export platform. They actually have a keen interest to utilize stablecoins in that way. The second question, how do we verify that, they're actually who they say they are? So to give you an example, when we went out to Jamaica last December, we were working with one of the largest Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee farms on the island. And that's the same question that arose. Like, how do for us, we contacted the government, we've verified them as an approved licensed vendor, grower, distributor. So we went through all the KYC stuff that we can normally do. To take it a step further, I come from a self-taught background by attending hackathons in the Bay Area. So IoT was really the first thing I got into. So I developed what we call the Real Items Sentinel, and it's an LTE self-powered device that has a cryptographic key that will be able to scan objects on the farm without even needing internet or power. So it's something we've developed, in-house. We haven't really rolled that out into the production of it just yet, just because technically I'm actually waiting for SpaceX and Starlink. I want to be able to ping it up to that instead.
Oh, wow.
But it's like, yeah, so we're definitely thinking like on the ground. And additionally, so for Jamaican Blue Mountain coffee specifically, in order for it to be JBM, it has to be grown between 3,000 feet and 5,000 feet on the mountain. If it's grown at sea level, it's not the same. So that's why for us, the Sentinel also comes with a longitude, latitude. We know exactly, and a barometer, so we know exactly your altitude of where you're at. And then having that cryptographic key on the device to be able to sign it and say, yes, this is our device that's giving us this data. So we've definitely tried to not say over-engineer things, but we definitely like that. The third question was funding. So where are we? I raised $50,000 2 years ago, and we've been bootstrapped and revenue generating since. So we were able to open our Shopify store, sell products, kind of keep the thing alive. And basically right now we have a lot of investor interest to follow on, but we're looking for a lead. So as soon as we find a lead, I think we can close around. But yeah, for us, we've really just been focused on clients, product, everything else will follow. So yeah, hope that answered all the questions.
No, appreciate it, man, and some real good work, and good luck with the funding and everything else. Thank you. Appreciate your answers.
No worries. Anyone else out there want to talk about NFTs, visuals, the future of e-commerce?
David here. I do have a question. It's a two-part question. First part is going back to the NFT market space. Are you planning to host a secondary market, similar to OpenSea? And if so, do you have a method or a way to verify that people actually have the physical item in hand before they sell it or resell it to someone else?
Yeah, so the first thing we're definitely going to avoid the secondary market on a like, we're not just trying to be the new eBay, right? So it's like eBay already has it connected to PayPal and logistics tracking and that kind of stuff. So we will get there. I think it's more of a hybrid approach. We're going to be selling the digitals more as like drops, and then you'll be able to have them, and these are personal items that people want anyways. So we'll be working with the people to send them out direct. There could be an option where it doesn't get sent, so they can trade it back and forth a few times before they pull it out of the system. But it will take a little bit more time, I think, to get more towards that eBay style of putting your digital back up for sale. Otherwise, it's going to be more of a secondary sale in person where you can scan, verify, just as if you're buying something on Craigslist or OfferUp, you'd never be able to really verify that that was real. I think that's the first kind of secondary market for us before the digital version where we connect with the logistics and that kind of stuff. But I would say by the end of the year, we could probably get a lot of that, in there because it's available and the flows have already really been established. But the trust factor in that as well. So it's not something we're trying to immediately rush either. We want to make sure that we have the basics down, and then from there we'll be able to evolve towards that. So.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
Hey, one thing I forgot to ask, if I may, do you also have some plans of doing just-in-time logistics, or is it, you know what I mean? I mean, as we think about, I think the biggest problem in logistics today is one is obviously tracking and making sure everything's authentic, and the other one is just to make sure that things get to the final destination not only on time, but in time for to refueling the inventory that is diminishing, right? So that you can manage your cost accordingly. Is that something which is that you're thinking through? I'm sure Origin Trail, I know, probably does that to a certain extent. Are you guys also thinking of building something like that?
We currently have a customer paying us to build a reconciliation module next. So it is something that we've built with IoT stuff, right? So we built a 2D barcode system that can scan our digitals in any OEM manufacturing setting. So we're providing the quality control, the hardware, and all that stuff to connect with our software. And then at the final step, one of the final modules we're supposed to build is the reconciliation. So it is something on our map.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's good. Thank you.
Yep. And one thing that also was not mentioned, one of our clients, they're paying us because they're experiencing price erosion. So not just scan and verifying, but really from an anti-fraud, for them to be able to police the MSRP value that's online in the map agreements. So for them, they want to be able to, as a brand, buy their own products because they know someone is leaking it in the distribution and undercutting the MSRP value, eroding the price.
Yeah.
So for them, if the product is not serialized, when they buy it, even though they produced it, they have no idea who they sold it to. So with our tech specifically, that's why they came to us and said, we want to stomp this out. We want to figure out who is leaking our products so that as soon as we buy it, we can cut them off as a distributor. So we're very excited to I think by the end of the year, start to see how many people are starting to get cut off. So
yeah, man. I mean,
cool.
logistics has so many issues today. Counterfeiting is also one of them, and as you rightly said, there's a lot of companies, especially in the emerging markets, where this could be really valuable. In terms of just stopping counterfeiting.
100%. Yep.
Hey, I had to leave like 7 minutes ago, so I gotta ask. It's a real short question. Are you guys confirmed, or are you guys planning to attend NFT NYC?
Yeah, I believe so. I think Mark might be going out there representing us. I know we're going to be in Art Basel in December, and then we got something going on in Japan in December as well. But yeah, if we can make it out, it'd be great. I applied to speak, I think like a year or two ago. I said no, but maybe we'll see. Yeah, we
Yeah,
definitely want to connect with more people in the NFT space. So I think it's definitely the place to be, and that's why Mark for the last 2 weeks was at Metacon and New York for the other event.
the mainnet event. Yeah, and I'm working on us getting a speaking slot, Devin. I'm speaking with NFT NYC right now, so working on making that happen. But yeah, ideally we'd be out there as well.
Okay, there's also a new conference. I'm like not really sure what its trajectory looks like. It's from Michael. I can't pronounce his last name, but I think it's like a Korean last name. It's called it's the handle for on Twitter is just NFT_CON. It says it's virtual in October, but the actual physical event is November 30th and to December 1st, just before Art Basel. And like yeah, so I was just putting that on you guys' radar as well. Because I was also going to add that Justin Fredericks, I don't know, the guy who runs like the art house, AR art house, I got a chance to basically be put onto his panel for NFT NYC, but it's a digital panel. So I assumed that'd be like a great place for like real items, but that's where we're going to be pitching like the smart glasses for NFTs. Okay. Yeah.
You said you're going to be on a panel for physicals at NYC or NFT NYC.
Yeah, I have to double check. I think he said in the message it was Maker's Place's panel that they're moderating, and then it's just I guess anybody who's doing this kind of thing. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is Charles the best person to talk to at NFT NYC in terms of speaker slots and talks?
Yeah,
because that's who I'm working with.
What I was told is that so they did have a clubhouse room, and this was last Wednesday, the 22nd. And so there's Nick Anderson, who's if you look him up on Clubhouse, he has the 7K followers. Nick Anderson, who's helping with programming, and then Charles, who I think most emails are supposed to be directed to, and then there's Jody, of course, who's running it. So I'm not really sure. They said they're actually on their own page on here on Twitter. They mentioned that they're going to do a Twitter Spaces. I'm hoping that's fingers crossed this week because obviously there's a lot of questions for them. But yeah, I think Charles or Nick, because Nick's just doing the programming. So I don't know, the event programming.
Thanks for sharing that. Appreciate that, Devin. Yeah, definitely want to try and be there. Absolutely. I'm planning to make a trip out there. For sure. So it'll be good to meet you. Let's get connected. I'm a listener here on the Twitter Spaces. It should just be Mark with a picture of the Doge Mona Lisa in my background. So if you follow me there and we can get connected and talk.
Oh, wait, your profile, that profile you're mentioning? Oh, there you are, right there in the listener. Okay, got it.
So do we have any other audience questions before we start wrapping this up? Really appreciate Chinmay for you hosting this and the rest of the Polygon team for hosting this.
Yeah, definitely. So really great having you guys here.
Yeah, definitely. Love to talk NFTs and blockchain anytime with you guys. And yeah, you guys have been very welcoming and encouraging and supportive. It's something that we're not actually used to in a blockchain community, which is actually alarming and surprising, So very excited to work with you and your community and, bring the real items platform and ecosystem to Polygon in the ever-growing Polygon ecosystem as well. So we're very excited to be using the proof of stake commit chain. It's really going to help us, I think, on the enterprise side. We've actually, one thing we've developed, last thing I'm going to tell, we actually figured out how to fractionalize NFTs. So that's how we're able to really make it available for a lot of different use cases so that cost is never the issue. It's usually just what is the actual problem and can we use it? And it's more than likely, yes, we can. So haven't really advertised it, but I think we will more and more now.
I got to jump. Mark, I did add you. I just had to. There's apparently a limit on the number of people you can follow, but I was still able to follow. Okay, I got to go. See y'all. Oh, hey, David, nice talking.
Awesome.
Yeah, I know we've talked before on Clubhouse, but I don't know if you'll go to an event there's blockchain meetup, developer meetups. like every other half a week, or like week and a half, I should say. I don't know if you want to meet up there and we could chat further about the glasses.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay, I'll send you probably on Clubhouse back channel the meetup link.
Cool. Sounds great. I used to own a sunglass company. That's actually why I got into this side of things. I patented light up sunglasses, sold them with EDC and Insomniac. Traveled the world to a lot of parties. But Alibaba vendors stole my photos and ripped off my product. So I learned intellectual property firsthand. And when I discovered blockchain, I was like, oh yeah, we're going after the Alibaba vendors. we're solving the anti-counterfeit, the traceability issue. So, but yeah, love to talk more about sunglasses.
Oh yeah, they're smart glasses.
Yeah,
but yes, I know.
Devin, I feel you on that. I actually wrote in a journal. David and I actually shared very similar sort of trajectories in the lifestyle business. I did a clothing line as well. I mean, as David invented, the LED sunglasses. But part of what I wanted to do in terms of like thinking the big picture was, super motivated to get into brain machine interfaces, which I noticed in your bio is sort of, and one of the things I identified, I'd say back in 2014, 2013, is that the precursor to the neural interfaces that are, whether they're invasive or non-invasive, is going to be sort of like a wearable camera that you can use that's like, projects something to the 3D so that you could, port your perspective, like what you're viewing of the world, with two cameras that have a good field of view that looks, very, very similar to like what you'd see from your human eyes, but be able to port that into virtual reality so that you can have, the kind of analog to a full human experience that you can experience with a brain machine interface. And you do that through whether it's smart glasses or what have you. But, seeing spectacles come out from Snapchat and all these other respective projects, it's kind of crazy. And I was like, oh, totally saw this coming. So what you guys are doing is awesome. I totally support it. I think it's necessary and on the road toward, fully immersive human experiences that we would at some point be able to, who knows, hallucinate on brain machine interface technology in the next 20 years.
Yeah, it's really in the vein of digital. It's quite literally trying to take something on a blockchain and just being like, all right, now this is here in your living room, like on top of or behind your table. It's interesting.
Yeah, I definitely see it evolving into that direction for sure. Cool. So yeah, if you guys want to continue a lot of these conversations with us, we have a pretty active Discord for the NFTG community. That's more of like the decentralized thing. We also have one for real items as well. And of course, we try to be as available as we can, by email and everything else. So.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we got to conclude here. So this was really awesome. This was really fantastic. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. So yeah, before we like actually end this, yeah, I would love to hear some last message or anything that you want to say to our community.
Chinmay, we're not allowed to mention anything about sales, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. So no, that makes sense. So one, my name's David. I'm the CEO, technical co-founder at Real Items. I'm extremely happy, to connect with the Polygon ecosystem and you guys to bring our technology to provide value and provide a way for you guys to really engage, with physical products. So I encourage you guys to check out our website, realitems.io. And I also encourage you guys to check out the decentralized project that we're contributing to, which is NFTG.live. That specific product, I know we didn't talk too much about it because we're really just introducing the Fidgetal, but that one there's a lot of education to be received if you're interested in profile picture NFTs or just generative art NFTs in general. It's a way that we're bridging the traditional like artwork NFT space to bring them into DeFi, to bring them into the blockchain stuff. So if it's something that's new to you, that would probably be a great place to play around in and discover stuff. But yeah, thanks for having us, and we really look forward to speaking with you guys again on a regular basis. And you guys can follow us on Twitter, see the tweets, stuff like that.
And Maldoza, Johnny, I'm not sure if you two have any last questions before we close out. I saw you two recently joined back up as speakers.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say, guys, this is fantastic, and I have to tell you, I'm sorry to hear when you mentioned that you hadn't been received well in the blockchain community. I think some of that is just people initially not understanding that, this only works if we're doing this together. This reminds me of a lot of like early internet days, to be honest. And the collaboration that's here is fantastic. That's the first comment. So please keep up what you're doing. And Polygon, I've been a Matic guy and a Matic guy still and today. So I love what you guys are doing, and I love that people have found Matic. And the last thing is, on the investor side, I think this is the type of project that probably a lot of people would love to figure out if they can be a part of it and help grow this community, not just by using the product but also investing. So I know I'll be reaching out to you guys as well. I'm Fun Farmer on Twitter, but I'll reach out to you guys. This has been amazing.
Awesome. Looking forward to that conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And Johnny, do you have anything you'd like to say or ask before we close out? If you have something to say, you're muted.
It's funny because Ken finally got up here as a speaker. He's our CTO. His iPhone broke, so it only has this tab. So it's like, how do we get it in to speak? Because it only allows it on a mobile device. And I think he finally grabbed someone in the house. But anyways, we'll have you speak with Ken next time, I guess. Or you want to say hi, Ken?
Yeah, I'm here. Yep. Thanks everybody. It's been great. I finally got on. And if I'll definitely speak a little bit more next time.
Ken's very modest. He's our blockchain wizard. This guy was an early adopter of Linux, and now he quit a very cushy Silicon Valley job to join us because he saw NFTs as the future. So definitely, and we met at a blockchain meetup as well. So I think we'll continue that story for another time. Polygon has been very gracious to give us the space to open up the community, to introduce us. We look forward to connecting with all of you guys in so many different ways. And please reach out, because it's a contact sport, right? So we want to play, and look forward to connecting with you.
Awesome. So this has been really amazing. I do this on a daily basis, and I have never hosted an AMA for so long and so engaging. So this was awesome. So yeah, I think thank you so much everyone for being here, for all of your questions and everything. Thank you so much, David and Mark, for being here, for your time. And I think, yeah, thank you so much.
Cool. Thanks, everyone.
We love you,
Thanks,
Chinmay. We love you,
yeah.
man.
Thank you.
Call us back anytime.
Thank you, Chinmay.
We'll come chat anytime.
Thank you, Chinmay, for being a great host.
Yeah, thanks, Mohit.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Chinmay and
Mohit,
Polly.
for being so like I see you are the most engaging person here. So thank you so
I'm
much.
tracking
for
you.
being here. Awesome, amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for being here again. We'll catch you next time.
Cool. Thank you. Bye.